Hey loves, it's your girl Mariah Sincere, and I'm back with another bomb live. For those of y'all who are new to this channel, I am a self-love coach who specializes in helping people radically transform their lives. I've done it myself at the beginning of the year. I decided I did not like my life in the United States as a teacher. I was stressed out, overworked, unhappy, and I developed a plan. And in 6 months, I had moved here to Colombia. So I am coming at y'all live here from Medellin, Colombia. So if you are interested in doing that type of work, or if life in the United States is not what's up for you right now, hit me up at thepassportsis at gmail.com. I can help you get started. I can help you work through whatever issues you need to work through to get over those mental hurdles and humps in order to better your life. And I can help you develop a plan that also includes that accountability piece. So, guys, remember, as y'all are coming in, to hit the like button. And if you have been watching me for a while and you keep coming back, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I feel like most of the people that watch me are not subscribed to me. So yeah, lunch hour, we going up. We're gonna have a good show today. I'm going to try to keep it under an actual hour, or at least no more than an hour and 15 minutes. The topic today, we're going to be talking about the economy. We're going to talk about Hurricane Milton, and we are going to talk about Kevin Hart's alleged involvement in the whole P. Diddy freak off thing. Um, and we're gonna bring up some of that old beef between him and Cat Williams. We're going to dig into that because it looks like Cat Williams wasn't lying on your boy. It looks like Cat Williams wasn't just sitting up hating. So we're gonna talk about that. So I'm gonna give y'all a couple minutes to get in here. Please, again, as y'all are coming in, hit that like button. That's going to let people know that I am on live, and participate in the comments. That keeps me going and flowing. Let me go ahead and light my candle, y'all. I love this candle. I told y'all I started buying these candles from this lady who makes them handmade here in Colombia, and they are just the best. And I burnt this candle so many times, and look, I barely have gotten through it. Guys, if y'all hear some noise outside, I do apologize. Again, I live on a very busy street. I live in a very walkable neighborhood. The restaurant right across from me plays salsa music until like 3 a.m. in the morning. So they're playing some now. It's just not super loud. So I do apologize, but y'all should be good. For the most part, I haven't really heard all the noise in my videos. So again, I'm trying to give y'all a couple of minutes to get in here. I like rushed home to get ready to do this, y'all, because I'm trying to get my workouts done before I come on live with y'all, because this is the city of eternal spring. There is no winter body, summer body here. Every day is spring. So, it behooves you to get your body together while you're here, because this is not a place where you can really just cover up and hide out and eat whatever you want during the y'all, I lost my train of thought. During the winter months. That's just not how that goes here. Okay. So again, if you're coming in, hit the like button. D Mally, what's up, brother? Okay, this is perfect. This will help get you through the drive. First of all, our first thing that we're going to be talking about today is Hurricane Milton. So I'm going to go ahead and get into that. First of all, I have seen some things that are just terrible. I want to send out my blessings and my prayers to the people who have to endure Hurricane Helen, that had to go through that lost everything. Y'all know that hurricane heavily affected Tampa Bay, Florida, and now they're having to deal with Milton right in behind that. So I've seen so many YouTube videos of people getting online with everything that they could grab in their car, and they lost every single thing. And what's really disappointing to me is that if you are reading the post about the updates online, people are making this a political issue, and I don't understand it. I think people really have like a mental illness. I really do. You have people who have lost everything they ever worked for. If they have a home and they didn't have updated homeowners insurance, or they didn't have flood insurance, because you can have homeowners insurance and not flood insurance, then they lost everything, right? And a lot of Floridians have a hard time getting insurance because a lot of the insurance providers are pulling out of Florida because of all of the natural disasters, the flooding, and then on top of that, the scams. So a lot of providers don't want to insure Floridians to begin with. And then on top of that, you have people who probably put everything they had into buying a house. Think of the people who like have been paying off on their houses for like 20 years or 25 years, and they only had like another 5 years left on their mortgage payments. And people are already struggling. And I understand that there was a bill that was in Congress that was going to give FEMA more funds that the Republicans voted against, right? And I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, well, that's those people's faults in Florida. They always vote red. They always vote all these red states. They always vote for Republicans, and then the Republicans don't want to give them any funds for release for natural disasters." And first of all, you don't know who individual people who are affected voted for. Let's start there. So there are probably plenty of people who were affected by the storm who voted blue. I'm going to use the colors because I don't want to get my video tagged, because YouTube censors very heavily during election season. And not only that, if you're still in 2024 arguing along party lines, doing this, which party is better than the other party, you are a child that's speaking on big boy games. Because at the end of the day, the power structure of the blues and the reds, they all agree on green money. These people hang out together. They're friends behind closed doors. They go golfing together. They talk to each other on the phone. They have backdoor meetings. And what y'all don't understand about the game that is played in politics is, hey, Jamal, good to see you here. We're talking about the politics of Hurricane Milton right now, and how you got a lot of Dems online, I'm saying blue and red, but y'all know the difference between the party. You got a lot of blue people online right now bashing Floridians who are already going through a terrible time, having to evacuate or not even being able to afford to evacuate and losing everything that they had, sitting up calling Floridians dumb and saying it's their fault because they vote for the Reds who vote against FEMA funds. So I'm going back to this game of politics because I was talking to this girl online about it, and the woman had the nerve to call me uneducated and told me that I need to go read a book because I told her, this is not a blue versus red thing. This is a game. And what she didn't know is I have a degree in political science. I have a degree in this, right? And not only do I have a degree in it, I was the person in college who I didn't just want to study what the university was teaching us. I studied Eastern politics. I actually went and read the Communist Manifesto. So when people who don't know the difference between communism and totalitarianism try to tell me to go read a book because I disagree with them, or I understand the mechanics and the way the game of politics is played, then it's laughable, right? But you got these people who sit up and they don't understand. A lot of the times when you have bills that are brought to the House floor, or, because all the bills originate in the House and then they go to the Senate, a lot of the times, these are the games these politicians play. For example, the Reds might put a bill in there, like something in the bill. Let's say it was going to be on the funding of Medicaid or healthcare or something like that. They might put something in the bill that is like, okay, well, this is good for everybody, right? But then they sneak all this other stuff in there to where when the blues go read it, they're like, okay, yeah, we agreed with the main part of the bill, but you put all this other stuff in there that you know we're not going to go for. That way, nothing gets passed and we can both point the finger at each other. And it's on purpose, guys. It's so both parties can avoid accountability. It's so one party can point the finger at the other and say they didn't vote for this and this is why you're going through this. And then when those other issues that they snuck into the bill get brought up, they can say, well, they voted against the bill that had XYZ in it. When in all reality, if either party cared about funding FEMA, they would vote on it as a standalone bill. They would bring a bill to the floor that only talked about FEMA, that didn't have anything in it that they know the other party is not going for, and they would vote on it. But they don't do that, guys. And I need y'all to understand your enemy. It is not each other. These people do this on purpose. So a lot of people, they feed into it, they buy into it, and then when you have people's real lives being affected, instead of looking up and looking at the people who are causing these things to happen, y'all want to blame, not y'all that I'm talking to, my audience, but people want to blame the little people. Know your enemy. I go back to the Hunger Games all the time when Katniss kept reminding herself, or other people kept reminding her in the movie, know your enemy, because we get so busy and distracted arguing amongst each other that we don't even see when the wool is getting pulled over our heads or we're getting robbed. Because guess what? These same people, they don't seem to not be able to pass any bills or not come to any agreements when it's time to send funds overseas. Because if you ask them about sending money to a particular country, it starts with an I. I'm not going to say the name because, again, YouTube and censorship, but y'all know where I'm talking about. When it comes to sending that country billions and billions of dollars, nobody has a problem. They can all agree. Go figure, you in here. Oh, thank you. That was sweet of you. I like that good people don't even look up stuff. They just drink the Kool-Aid. Yeah, they just drink the Kool-Aid, right? Or they get so caught up in only reading or listening to people that they agree with, and then have the nerve to go tell everybody else, go educate yourself. You know what's crazy? I enjoy speaking to people that don't have an education sometimes, like that never went to a college or university, about socioeconomic issues, because they see things more simplified, right? And that's not always a bad thing, right? When you are looking at something from a common sense perspective versus a narrative, a lot of the times you're going to see something clearer than somebody who is so-called educated. And I'm not saying education and understanding the mechanics of things and how they actually work is bad, but when education is used to indoctrinate you to the point where the indoctrination is more important than the truth, getting to the root of the matter, looking at what is happening right in front of you, and when it's more important than individual people in their lives, then it becomes a problem. Hey, Olivia, what's up, sis? Glad to see you here. Yes, y'all follow me on TikTok at Thepassportsis. That channel, and I have a YouTube channel called Thepassportsis. That's focused more on my experiences living abroad, living in Colombia, being from the United States, and my travel experience. Guys, they're already decorating for Christmas here in Medellin, like in Envigado. I live in like a suburb of Medellin, but it's still like way more city than a suburb in the United States. Like the neighborhoods, it's like a city, to be honest. It's just a southern municipality. They already got their Christmas decorations up and they're putting up more. Yes, y'all, if y'all want to bless me with the donation, the Cash App is at Mariah Sincere. I only have like 700 more watch hours to go before my super chat button can go live. Yes, thank you so much, Skinny Boy. Yes, that's the most important thing. Y'all hit the like button. So again, I just wanted to, I know I went on a long rant about that, but I think that was important and it needs to be said. So let's have some compassion for these people. I saw the mayor of Tampa Bay, Florida, go on CNN, and I would pull it up, but again, censorship. Um, but she flat out said, if you stay and you choose not to evacuate, you are going to be unalived. And I've never heard a politician say anything even remotely close to that during a hurricane. I've heard them say, oh, it's going to be dangerous. I've seen them do mandatory evacuations, but I've never heard a politician flat out go on the news and say, you're all going to be alive. And I'm grateful that she said that. A lot of people were upset that she said that, but it seems like people seem to think it's a game until you take it there. Sometimes people need to get afraid and get scared. And what Floridians have working against them, especially if you spent several hurricane seasons in Florida, is after a while you get used to it. It's like the boy that cried wolf. So especially if you been there, you wrote it out. I remember Skinny Boy was telling me like they take pride in writing it out, which in most cases that probably works. But then when you have a storm, this is said to be the worst storm in recorded history, the worst hurricane. So when you have something like that coming your way, you gotta treat that differently. You gotta act like it's the first time. You gotta have a little fear. You might be able to put up clips if you speed it up. Okay, I'm going to I need to figure out how to do that. Y'all, I am technologically illiterate. That's why it's taking me so long to really kind of get in a YouTube swing of things, y'all, because I am terrible with certain technologies. Hurricane season isn't close to being over. We still have a month left. That is awful. And y'all had two hurricanes back to back. And I really worry also about, I have friends that live in St. Thomas. Like it's every hurricane season, I worry about them. Then I got my subscribers now, my YouTube fam that is in Florida. Binky's in Florida. So yes, you always kind of worry about people during these times. Floridians are crazy. We throw hurricane parties. I know something is wrong with y'all. We've been said something ain't right in the water. I saw a Florida man. He was fine too. He jumped inside of a swamp and grabbed a baby alligator out the swamp. I said, boy, them Florida boys, they build a little different. Okay, they build a little different. And then y'all got to understand in Florida is full of island people. So if y'all ever been on an island, then island people, like I love St. Thomians. They are the most hospitable people ever, but they get crossed real quick. And if they wake up on the wrong side of the bed that day, somebody getting cussed out, period. Like they cuss people out, but then they let it go. It's done. They could be happy the next minute. Then on top of that, Florida has Cubans. Florida has St. Thomians. Florida has Jamaica. And then Haitians. We ain't gonna talk about them Haitians because I don't want nobody to go to Haiti on me. So I'm gonna keep their name out my mouth. Okay. So yeah, Florida built different. Okay. And if you knew the history of Florida, I loved it when I used to teach it in US history. But if you knew the actual history of how Florida came to be what it was today, you would understand like it's the movie type stuff. There has not been enough movies made about Florida. Okay, so right now we're gonna go on TikTok and we're gonna look at a couple videos of some people who have chosen to stay during the storm. Let me share my page. Again, if you're just coming in, please hit the like button. Also, I would love it if you participate in the comment section.
510.
Okay. This is Angie B underscore underscore on TikTok. She said the title is Hurricane Milton. I did not.
I can't sleep. Anxiety through the roof. So I don't know. The storm supposed to touch down, but Bayshore is already at waist level. That's not good. Um, the storm haven't even got close and it's already at waist level. So that is definitely a bad sign. That means when the storm do get here, all that's gonna be extremely high and extremely flooded. The area I'm in, they told us to have enough food for 3 days, enough water for 3 days to survive without power. I will say if we go without power, I'm gonna try to do like a barbecue maybe in my backyard. I do got a lot of water. I did put
I don't know what's wrong with TikTok today. Let me refresh. Okay, so until that loads, I'm going to tell y'all. So I was watching Kim Iverson on YouTube and I love her, y'all. If y'all are not subscribed to Kim Iverson, go subscribe to her. She's a mixed lady. She's like Vietnamese and white, and she's been doing this news anchor thing on independent news here on YouTube as well as Rumble.
510.
Hold on, guys. I'm gonna pause this. But she was talking about how like it's really dangerous what the blues are promoting. Mind you, she's an independent, so she doesn't really have an agenda here. She calls herself politically homeless. She takes things issue by issue, but right now we're hearing a lot of talk about climate change, and climate change is causing this increase in these natural disasters. To that, I'm gonna leave that alone because I don't know enough information, to be honest. I've heard both sides, but I don't feel comfortable speaking on that. But with that said, you have a lot of initiatives that are going on. Like, for example, in California, they have completely banned gas stoves. So if you already have a gas stove, you can keep it. But if it goes out, you would have to replace it with an electric stove. Why that is dangerous is because in incidents like this, in a storm or you have some type of natural disaster happening and the power goes out, then you're not going to be able to like heat your food or cook anything or, manually light a gas stove. So a lot of people will use gas stoves during natural disasters because it will work if your power is out. So it makes it harder for you to survive in a situation where you have to go without electricity. So in places like California, they've completely banned gas stoves. And I believe by the year, I might be incorrect about this. I can't recall, but I think it's by the year 2023, they will have completely banned gas cars. Okay, but the problem with that is if you don't have immediate access to an electrical source, you're not going to be able to power your car. And then on top of that, these electric cars have a lot of issues with them. Like, for example, if the battery goes out in a Tesla, you're going to have to spend like $30,000 just to replace it. So it's not as efficient or economical, and it's not as beneficial to people as they are trying to make it seem. Like, this comes with a lot of drawbacks, especially during emergency situations. Those islanders are mostly in South Florida. Okay, yeah, that's true. They are. I was watching another channel and she's from South Carolina and she said they had hurricane parties. Yeah, Floridians are something else, man. But you gotta love people that are crazy like that and live on the edge. Tropical storm Leslie is on its way to the Caribbean. Yeah, I mean it's sad. And if y'all been the same time as y'all already know, they play with their power way too much. So their electric company, their electric provider, WAPA, baby, they cut off that power every opportunity they get Last time I went to St. Thomas, this was in June during my birthday week. We had to have like rolling blackouts there. So luckily the Airbnb that I was staying at had a power generator, and most people on the island will have a power generator, but it still sucks. That's why a lot of St. Thomians will like move to Florida, because it's like, okay, we're getting tired of these power outages and it's more opportunities for work. No, they have hurricane parties in the Carolinas too. Just obviously not this year. It's a category 5. I could not imagine Texas people having a party for any type of natural disaster. We get scary, especially like if it's snow. Oh, when snow dots the floor in Texas, you all hell breaks loose. Okay, people are not going to work. They're calling in. Um, if snow touches the ground, I don't step foot out of my door for any reason. We treat snow like a natural disaster in Texas. You ain't lying about St. Thomas. Yeah, it's struggle, baby, but I love it.
And I can't sleep. Anxiety through the roof. So I don't know. The storm supposed to touch down, but Bayshore is already at waist level. That's not good. Um, the storm haven't even got close, and it's already at waist level. So that is definitely a bad sign. That means when the storm do get here, all that's gonna be extremely high and extremely flooded. The area I'm in, they told us to have enough food for 3 days, enough water for 3 days to survive without power. I will say if we go without power, I'm gonna try to do like a barbecue maybe in my backyard. I do got a lot of water. I did put water in the freezer, so if my power go out, I could throw out in the sink to keep it like good and cold. I got bread, meat. Um, y'all, I'm so scared. My anxiety is up to here. I cannot
Mm.
sleep. I cannot rest. I'm overthinking. I am ready for this to be done and over. And then I think me seeing the reporter cry is like just top tier for me. I got 3 children.
Mm.
I do got their life jackets. We are ready to survive. And I'm just in mama mode right now, bitch. Like, I'm gonna have to make sure these kids is okay.
I feel so bad for her, and a lot of people will look at people like this and say, why didn't you evacuate? But it might have been a situation where they didn't realize the seriousness of the situation until it was too late. And if y'all weren't watching the news yesterday, the highways were gridlocked. So it was hard to get out anyway. Or the lady said she has 3 children. So a lot of the times people do not have money. And I know that there are shelters, but shelters can only hold a certain capacity. And from what a lot of Floridians were saying on social media, a lot of the hotels in that area, a lot of the hotels in areas where people were evacuating to were jacking the prices up. You know, some were offering discounts, but a lot were jacking up the price. So she might not have been able to afford to both evacuate, get a hotel room, and then have enough food for her children to eat. The sad thing is, though, that once FEMA comes into that area, a lot of those houses are going to be condemned. So even if you did stay and you did survive, a lot of the times these people are going to get out their house, have to get out their houses anyway. They're not going to be allowed to stay. Property taken, house taken, everything taken, just like they did in Katrina. That's why a lot of those people never returned back. They didn't have anything to go back to. And in a lot of cases, the government said you can't come back here. And water damage is a different type of damage. Like once your house is water damaged from a flood, there's not too much you can do about that. Okay, let's get back to the comments. A lot of us don't evacuate. We go to places like our local high schools until the storm blows over. Okay, okay. Again, guys, thank you all for being here. Please hit the like button if you are watching. Yeah. And again, I think in most cases that will probably work. I'm really afraid. I'm afraid for this lady and her children. The great thing is they have life jackets. Okay. Another thing about Florida, and y'all correct me because there might not be gators in Tampa Bay, but I would be so afraid that during a storm and those water's rising, that let's say you do have a life jacket on and you like fall into some water, or you get caught up in the water and you can swim, you got your life jacket on, you can survive, but now you're in a water, like now you're in water full of gators. So that's another thing that Floridians might have to worry about. I might be wrong about that. Okay, you might as well be in a sea full of sharks. At Highway 20, but what happens when it's above a category 3? Oh, so you're asking Skinny Boy, like, what do Floridians do when it's above a category 3? Yeah, I'm interested to know that as well. Okay. I got a couple more videos that we're going to watch, and then we're going to move on. Okay, this says stubborn influencer refuses to evacuate Hurricane Milton.
Die. It's zone.
This is from the Daily Mail on TikTok.
A mandatory evacuation. Listen, I didn't evacuate. I can't drive, first of all. Second of all, the airport is closed. Third of all, the last time I evacuated for a hurricane, I went to my mom's house in Northport. Her whole street flooded, and we were evacuated after 3 days without power and food or running water by the U.S. military. It was very traumatic. And so I don't want to evacuate to my mom's house, because the last time I did that, it was the worst time ever. I'm going to die. It's zone A, mandatory evacuation. Listen, I didn't evacuate.
Okay, so she's basically saying she don't want to deal with the hassle. She don't want to evacuate and then it be something else inconvenient. Now, this is a situation where she's not saying she can't afford to evacuate. She's just saying I don't want to deal with it. Everybody has a right to decide for themselves. It's their body, it's their life. I'm assuming she's a single woman. If I had the means to evacuate, even though it might be inconvenient, I would try to evacuate to an area that would seemingly not be affected by floodwaters. So maybe not her mom's house, but she probably could have went somewhere else. So yeah, I don't understand that kind of thinking. Again, that's just getting way too comfortable when people are saying this is the worst storm in recorded history. Okay, and this lady was giving live updates.
It's 9 a.m.
This
here
is
in Tampa, and shit is looking dicey to start.
I'm sorry, guys. This is Morgan Ruse 96 on TikTok.
Okay, I decided not to evacuate. I live on the 11th floor of a high-rise building. I'm in the heart of downtown. You know what they say? Run from the water, hide from the wind. Water ain't coming up 200 feet, so I decided to stay. But since I am staying, I thought I would give you guys like a boots on the ground live update of what's happening for the next 48 hours, okay? So let me show you what I'm working with right now. So right out there, right behind those buildings, that's the bay. And right here is the river walk, obviously. I don't know if y'all can see all the way over there. There's markings where it says where the water's at. So it says 10, 12, and 14, and it's below the 14. And if you can see, all the water is being sucked backwards out towards the bay, which means we are just going to get absolutely fucking shit on. I was here 2 weeks ago for Helene, and the water was coming up all the way. It covered the river walk right around here. So if they're saying 10 to 15 feet surges, I would not be shocked if it fills this entire parking lot, honestly. I'm now on the rooftop of my building showing y'all what it looks like from like a bird's eye view looking down. So obviously this is the Hillsborough River that leads out into the bay.
Okay, I wanna pause this too. I watched both documentaries that Spike Lee did on Hurricane Katrina, and I watched another documentary that was here on YouTube that was really good. Hopefully I can find it again. But a lot of people during Katrina, like that were like in the French Quarter and things like that, were saying like for a long time they didn't even see any water on the ground, or the flooding wasn't even that bad, right? And then those levees bust, and then all of a sudden things got really crazy really quick, you know? So I said that to say, just because things look calm right now or doesn't seem like it's going to get that bad doesn't mean that it's not, there are varying factors and things could go from okay to really terrible really quickly.
This right here is Davis Island that got messed up 2 weeks ago by Helene. Right in front of it, this tiny little like dot, that's Tampa General on Davis Island. This is the bay. You can see the storm starting to roll in. This is all going to be flooded without a doubt. So as the storm progresses, I'll show you guys updates as we go. It's 9 a.m. here in Tampa, and shit is looking dicey.
I'm going to look on her channel and see if she has another update. Hopefully she does. Okay, so this is at 11:45
from Tampa Bay. I am standing here on the river walk, as y'all can see, and this is what the river currently looks like. I don't like this. The water is moving backwards into the bay. And hold on, let me flip the camera. So right here, I don't know if yeah. Normally it's up in between like the 10 and 12 mark. That is down, if I was to like say, by 16, which means what goes out is gonna come back in, which means to me, this is the Straz Center, which is like I don't know, they do like plays and shit there. I don't know. All this water is probably, this is going to be gone. This is going to be completely fucking underwater. But this right here, I would not be shocked if it goes up on the street. And hold on. Let me show y'all. There ain't a fucking person in this goddamn town. It is me, my dumb ass, and my dumb ass only. That's who's here. And I'm the least qualified person to be reporting about a fucking hurricane, and I'm from goddamn Colorado. I was outside for maximum, 90 seconds, and I am soaked. There's so much water and rain. I'm also standing in my lobby right now. They fully predict that the water is gonna come all the way into the lobby of my building. They moved everything away. They got sandbags. There's nothing here. They warned us, be fully prepared, that they predict there's gonna be like at least 6 inches to like a foot of standing water. And for reference, I was standing right at the base of that. That's the river that I was just standing on. So they fully predict that the river is going to overflow all the way into the lobby of my building. That's how much water they're predicting is going to be here. Hi, I'm Morgan Reeves coming to you.
Woo! So that was her last update, guys. Again, that was at 11:45 this morning. So I think she's underestimating how high that water is going to go. Again, she's not from there. She's from Colorado, like she was saying. And I know she looks like her apartment is really high up, so it probably wouldn't flood up that high. But I would just still be worried about being trapped. I hope she has enough supplies and food and water to last her, because it's probably going to be a while before somebody can get to her. And then on top of that, I told y'all, I would be so scared of gators coming into the building or being brought in by flood water. Like, that'd be my main thing. And it's probably totally illogical, but I have seen some crazy things in videos from Florida, like Texas and those bugs they got in the water. Okay. That bite you. I don't know what they call them. What are they called? Bugs that bite us in the water. You talking about mosquitoes? During Hurricane Helen, those of us who didn't evacuate went to the nearest high schools, and that was a category 4. Surprisingly, gators try their best to avoid people. You rarely hear of gator attacks during floods. Okay, perfect. Yes, because that would be my biggest fear. Drowning in a gator attack. I'm a good swimmer. But then you got to worry about those instances where you get carried along by a flash flood and your like head hits a rock. Now I'm just making up scenarios, but it's possible. And then you're too unconscious to swim. Oh, wow. Guess if you live on Florida coast for 20 years or an island, you learn to adjust. Hi, Carlos. How are you today? Good afternoon, crew. These videos are good. Yeah, thank you so much. This is my first time seeing you in the comments, so welcome. Good to see you here, Carlos. Definitely, but I live closer to Georgia, so we're not on the coast, okay? Sorry, guys. I know I was talking for a minute. Now I got to catch up. Yeah, it was definitely a ghost town where she was at. I wonder why she stayed, and she didn't explain that. But again, guys, let's have empathy for the people who stay, because you never know why. Some people had to stay. If you don't have money to put in your gas tank, a lot of the times you can't leave, right? So if it's going to cost you 30, 40, $50 to get to the safest spot and you don't have money to put in your gas tank, then you got to stay where you're at or maybe try to drive as far out. But I saw a lot of people that couldn't afford a hotel. They drove as far out as they could and they were like, we're just going to wait this storm out in our car. And that's probably way safer than staying, but then that comes with other things as well. You got to hand it to white people on that one. White people are funny. Y'all, I saw this video this morning. Do y'all know there are hurricane chasers? Like, there are people who chase hurricanes in planes. And I saw a video this morning of the hurricane chasers, like their plane going through turbulence. And I'm like, bruh, I'm already scared getting on a regular plane. Like here in Colombia, like Medellin is located in mountains. It's basically a city built in the middle of a jungle in the middle of mountains. So that does something to the air to where there's a lot of turbulence when you take off, which is really scary considering that there was just a plane crash by an airline in Brazil, right? But anyway, there's a lot of turbulence and like I'm super freaked out every time I have to come in and out of here, right? So I can't imagine being on a plane chasing a dang hurricane in the air and then having all that turbulence. So they were showing the dudes, and mind you, all the men look just as you would imagine, handsome, fine, look like they in the gym, look like they were in the military, men, white men at that, chasing a storm. Okay, they look just how you would imagine a storm chaser to look, because people of color, we're not getting up in those planes chasing those storms unless they're in the military and somebody forced them to do it. But that's not a job we're taking on. Okay, Mariah, check this out. Can I press on it? Okay, hold on. I might have to go to the video on my actual YouTube page. Yes, I heard they get paid good just to take photos and videos of the storm. You couldn't pay me no money in the world to go do that. Okay, let me go on my channel from like another link, y'all, because I can't do it through StreamYard, so that I can check what Skinny Boy just sent me. And I'm going to go in the live chat. Give me 1 second. We're going to get into Kevin Hart and then, y'all. I promise. It's crazy because, like, okay, can I get in the live chat? Oh, here we go. It's crazy because I was like, what are we really going to talk about? It's just a hurricane. But when we get to talking, there's actually a lot to talk about. Let me see if I can play this on my channel. Okay, guys, I'm going to share this screen.
It's also usually bustling with tourists wanting to take pictures here at the southernmost point. Hopefully most people are staying away because the surf is also getting high there.
So this is in Key West, Florida.
Over the wall, yeah. And that's also where we have some crews.
That's right. Local 10's Janine Stanwood is out there to give us an update. Janine.
That's right. The outer bands of Milton, they are here. The south end of the island, that's really the area where we are seeing the biggest effects. And you said it, we're at the southernmost point buoy. This is really a popular place where tourists like to come and take pictures. And they are.
Baby, the way that she's standing while that water is rushing in like that, and she's keeping a calm tone, I hope that she's getting paid really well. Because, ma'am, what are you doing?
Doing it even now. A lot of people here who live in the Florida Keys say they know that this could be so much worse. Whipping winds and high surf. Key West seeing the outer bands of Milton. This couple is visiting from France.
The hurricane moved in Tampa, and I think it's not a good place. Here it's a better place.
This tourist from Philly bracing for back.
Oh, that sucks. And they probably planned their trip not knowing that a hurricane was going to hit and was like, we're just going to, they probably been there for a minute. Because a lot of times when people travel from across the pond, they plan these long periods of travel. So they were like, oh, dang, oh, hurricane's coming, and just decided to stay. Maybe they had family or friends.
So far, I think we're going to be okay down here, but probably in for some pretty nasty weather.
But locals know devastation can come anytime during this season.
Just a lot to think about, and can't believe how close that beast is to us right now.
Al Nelson and his kids, who have no school today, live in one of the few high points in Key West.
Actually, the kids went to the...
I know these kids be happy during hurricane season. They don't worry like us. They're just glad they don't have to go to school for a while. They can be at home chilling. It's probably fun building forts and stuff.
Grotto the other day,
roasting hot dogs.
We lit a candle, not only for the safety of Key West, but also for all of our friends up there. It's in the path. It's hate it. Hate it has to go anywhere.
That grotto is this rock shrine, more than 100 years old, where we met these tourists lighting candles who call the Keys their happy place.
Why are you emotional?
Because I feel it.
They say their prayers have been working.
We were married here 3 years ago yesterday, and we keep coming back, and we're not locals. We feel like we're part of the place, though. And
wish it didn't have to go anywhere. So grateful it's not coming here.
Not coming here, but still a little bit ugly. You can see, once again, the south end of the island. This is really where we're seeing the wind. We're seeing a lot of that overwash. Spoke to an
Okay, I don't want to play the whole video because I'm scary, y'all. YouTube been tripping. Let me take this off my screen, matter of fact. Yep, let's see what y'all are saying. So they storm chasing live on YouTube now. They play too much. You got to be in a different headspace to be like, I'm going to go chase a storm. I know they be super excited. Like, I know it's some people that love feeling like they're about to die. Like that they're on the edge. I shouldn't have said I should have said unalive. I'm so sick of YouTube. The kids never know the severity of the hurricanes. They know to swim after it passes. Yeah, that's it. That's all. And you wouldn't catch me in no Florida water after a hurricane. I wonder what they do with the zoo animals in times like this. Yes. I saw people saying like, make sure that y'all take y'all's pets when y'all evacuate. But y'all, there's probably a lot of pets that pass away. But I do wonder, maybe I'll look that up and give y'all an update tomorrow if I can remember. What do they do with the zoo animals? I'm pretty sure they probably don't. They probably evacuate the zoo animals, y'all, because that's an investment. Like, it costs a lot of money to bring an animal from overseas, or even if they're breeding them over here, you have to still bring the animals over here if they're from a different country. So they probably evacuate them before the storms, because that's a financial investment at the end of the day. Like, nobody's going to leave a big elephant in a zoo, you know? Not just that, PETA and white folks would have their head. I mean, they're not playing. Y'all know who else don't play about their pets? Colombian people. In particular, paisas. Oh my gosh, y'all. There's a pet store on every corner here. You will see these people, like, y'all know how in the US you'll see during holidays or special occasions, you might see certain people put clothes on their dogs, but it's not like you're not walking down the street and seeing fully clothed dogs just on a regular basis. Y'all, that's regular here. Okay. They treat these pets like children. They don't play about their pets here in Colombia. They worse than white folks. I'm telling you. I promise you they are. And everybody got a pet. You rarely meet people that don't have pets. And then when they have pets, it's like, oh, I got 3 cats and 2 dogs. And yeah, they love their pets down here. All right, guys. So let's get to Kevin Hart. Now, we're gonna watch Tisa tells a little bit of her video. I love Tisa. don't follow her, follow her. She is the hardest working person on YouTube. She's always hopping on the live or putting up a video, and she's always researching and coming with the tea. I really love her channel. But she has been on Diddy like white on rice, baby. So now she's talking about Kevin Hart. Now, if y'all don't remember, a few years back, Kevin Hart and Cat Williams kind of had an exchange of words, or they kind of did interviews talking about each other. And Kevin Hart was trying to make it seem like, Cat Williams was a hater. And the reason why he has his success is because he works harder. Now, in my opinion, Cat Williams is funnier than Kevin Hart, and he also works hard. There are people who, it's not necessarily that you're outworking them, it's that you play the game better than them and you're willing to play ball better than them, right? And in that regard, you have two type of people. Well, really three. You have people who are, well, four actually. You do have the people who are lazy complainers, who don't work on their craft, who don't work on their skill set, have terrible customer service, and are not focused, right? And you have those type of people who complain while everybody else is passing them up. Then you have the person who is good at what they do, but they don't understand the game. They either don't understand the game, they're naive, and they're unwilling to play the game, right? That type of person could be working harder than a lazy person, but still not get anywhere, right? Then you got the people who they understand the game, they're good at what they do, and they play it enough to where they stay out of the BS. You know what I'm saying? They can get to a certain level, but ultimately there's gonna be a cap because they're still not willing to do certain things. And then you got the people that play ball all the way. And that's where Kevin Hart enters the chat, right? Because it's not that he's better or he works harder than Cat Williams. It's that he nasty. He willing to do certain things. So let's talk about Kevin Hart. Hold on, what you say? I can't stand people who do that. Putting clothes on top of the dog's coat. Yeah, they don't play. Again, guys, if y'all are coming in, hit the like button. Okay. Give me a second, y'all. I had so many dang tabs open.
Pleading out is a gift the prosecution gives you. Cooperating is a gift. It's not offered to everyone. You can't.
So what is ClickUp? ClickUp is an all-in-one productivity software where you can manage everything and anything.
Mikhail is very hard to find. Again, I think everybody is taking for granted how long it took them to build a case against Epstein. One influential, always wanted to be in a different class. Just hear me out. So because Jay-Z at that time was basically trying to,
I'm sorry, I'm trying to get to the point where she talks about Kevin Hart.
Yeah, exactly. Jay-Z mostly hung out with Diddy for Face. It was Halloween every day for him.
Girl, what is she talking about? Okay.
Yeah,
very educational.
Again,
Here we
this is
go.
Trey Songz. This is
Where the party is right here.
Here we go. Okay. So this is apparently Kevin Hart on video at a party.
Stop the music. Stop the music. I said stop the music. Don't stop the music.
I just got
okay. I'll check this out. I see that. I see this. What I'm going to.
I just got this is what I'm going to do because I.
Kevin, for some reason, is just yelling.
Party. If you're not dancing, I just got hard. Then you got to go. So security, if you see somebody and they not dancing, they got to go.
Yeah.
Baby Diddy said, "You're not gonna hold up the wall at my party. Y'all gotta get loose." Okay, because at the end we get nasty.
Now, interestingly enough, people are saying this scene is this party was actually described in Dawn's lawsuit. This is the exact party that was described in Dawn's lawsuit. You see them on the screen right now. Dirty Money. Hold on.
Period. Point blank. Period. Point. Lady.
If you notice, Kevin's wearing the same. Kevin is wearing the exact same shirt and clothes that he was wearing, right? That he was wearing when there was a remote on the bed, right, Jay? When there was a remote on the bed and Usher showed up for the after party. Let's also not forget what Jonathan Oddie said about what goes on in the Ciroc things. Let's also not forget that Diddy always had a special, according to these lawsuits, special bottles for the ladies and certain guys to drink from. Again, why is this party scene so important? This is the beginning, the middle, and you see with the remote on the bed, the end of a freak-off party that Dawn describes in her lawsuit.
Now, let's go back. Y'all remember when Kevin Hart got outed for cheating on Aniko? And there were videos of him, not just with one woman. It was multiple women in the room, okay? Baby, let me tell y'all. Sometimes don't nobody cheat like a man that's 4'11". I'm just saying.
Dude, let's keep going. Look at this. I want to say one thing. Why does everybody look so sad? Why does everybody look so sad? Even the bartender looked like she was on the last train to hell. Let's also not forget that these are the these are the parties that Dawn said were also when they were promoting Last Train to Paris. Ciroc was paying Diddy $250,000 for each of these appearances when he had Ciroc, and he was giving Dawn and Kalina $5,000. Dawn and Kalina. Jamie said it looks like Ciroc sponsored that live party that Dirty Money had to be at. I'm sure he gave them none of the money. Dawn said he only gave her $5,000 or $250,000 and said everybody was coming to see me. This is also that party, I believe, that Dawn said that she had to run to her room because don't forget, Diddy rented out the whole floor, top 2 floors, had to run to her room and push furniture against her door because she thought something was going to happen to her. This is the party. And it's like a who's who.
I don't know if my mic is on or not. It's a movement. Make sure Kevin.
He hired Kevin to actually host.
There we go. Look, I don't know if y'all realize this or not. Look, it's a movement, bitches.
They live stream this. This is another thing.
Come in. Come over here. Get some camera shine, ladies. Get some camera. Baby, come on this side. Come on this side. Let's get it popping over here. Put the areolas in, ladies. Yeah, make sure they're tucked in. This is where the party's at, right here. No, this is where it is. Right now,
these are the workers. Write down. Look at these workers.
What that allows me to do or not.
The women that he paid to walk around with lingerie. Kevin Hart is being gross with them. But even then, again, it's a who's who of the music industry. It's Last Train to Paris. I don't see no Jay-Z, don't see no Beyonce, but I see Fabulous. I see Swiss Beats. I see Trey Songz. I see a lot of people.
Now, y'all remember that round table that Fabulous and Diddy was at? And Diddy was like, when you gonna go party with me? And Fabulous was like, I've been at your parties. And he was like, nah, we gonna come party for real. And Fabulous just kind of looked like, you know, and you could tell he ain't really want to check Diddy. I would have checked him. Like another grown woman come at me like that, sis, I'm checking you, right? And then you done came at me publicly like that in front of everybody, in front of all these people, and everybody knew. We might not have known at the time, but everybody in the industry knew what he was on. And Fabulous just kind of looked like he was scared, right? And that makes me kind of wonder about Fabulous, because y'all remember Fabulous, you know, he had that tumultuous relationship with Emily B. For a long time, he didn't want to publicly come out with her. Then when she was on Love and Hip Hop, he ain't want to come to none of the shows. He didn't want to come to none of the photo shoots with her. And I get it. He might not have wanted to look like a Love and Hip Hop artist, but he could have at least came to like her photo shoots. They didn't even have to show the storyline. And then it came out that he was laying hands and feet on her and he knocked her teeth out. And a lot of that makes me feel like you don't even, do you like women, or what has gone on in your life that you feel so much animosity towards your partner? And usually the way we treat others is the way we treat ourselves. So why are you so self-loathing, sir?
See Dawn and Kalina, and it makes you think. I mean, this is the party that she was describing in her lawsuit.
You see what we're doing right now.
DJ, stop the music.
Yeah.
DJ, stop the music.
What up?
Check this out. If your name ain't Sean Combs, you got to take your hat off.
This is also, sorry, this is Diddy's weird control things. Randomly in a party.
Okay, let me tell you something, Carlos. Don't nobody cheat like a man that's 4'11" or a man that's working with 4 inches. If y'all know what I mean. They cheat the most. They cheat the most. They cheat the most. Okay, I'm gonna continue.
He demanded that all the men take their hat off, and he would be the only one that was allowed to wear a hat in the house. Again, Diddy was always exerting control in weird ways.
No hat. Male, you got to take your hat off. It's a little bit disrespectful to be in my house.
Yep.
Oh, just to let you guys know, the women that are dancing around Sean and what's his name? Kevin, where he's like, I'm hard. That was Kalina and it was Dawn. This, you guys, this is the Dirty Money album release party / freak off that Dawn described in her lawsuit. Dirty Money was Dawn Richards and Kalina Harper and Diddy. This is the Last Train to Paris album release party. So yes, that is Dawn, and this is one of the scenes she described in her lawsuit.
With your hat on, okay?
All y'all niggas in here with
There
these
she
hot
go
ass
right there.
scatties on.
Hey, yo,
Kalina
for real,
These hot ass beanie caps. Get the beanie caps off.
Hold on, where my son at?
The light skinned dude with the good hair.
Y'all gotta hear this part. Hold on really quick. Hold on this part. Because at this point, really quick, Kevin, I don't know, he seemed like he's had a lot of Ciroc. He might have drank from the wrong Ciroc bottle. But listen to what Kevin.
You know what? Let me say something. It's always like men that look like Diddy that be trying to crack jokes on light-skinned men, but look at all the women that Diddy date, with the exception of Kim Porter and what's the girl name? Young Miami. Okay, come on now. He always dating something light-skinned, so that's always funny to me. Real quick, Mariah, your boy Chris Brown got a $16 million lawsuit coming. Now, you know that ain't my boy. You know, I think Chris Brown is very talented. He's a great performer. He brings quality to his shows. His talent is undeniable. He is the best R&B performer of our time, right? And when I say of our time, I mean of that millennial generation. You know what I'm trying to say? With that said, people give him a pass. I was watching a friend of mine on YouTube who also has a channel, Halfway Up Podcast. It's a really good podcast if you want to subscribe if you have time. But he loves music and he loves art. And he was talking about how nobody lets Chris Brown live down the fact that he beat up Rihanna. And I'm like, I had to explain to him, sir, the reason why Karrueche Tran got a 5-year restraining order against Chris Brown was because the neighbors came to the trial and testified that Chris Brown would be whooping her ass so bad that her screams were so loud that they had to call the police. It's just the police never took him to jail. And Karrueche protected him a lot of the time. Even since that trial, Karrueche never has publicly came out and given a statement that Chris Brown laid hands on her. She just wanted that to be behind her, for him to leave her alone. And she wanted to be known for acting, because not too long after that, she launched her acting career and did Claws and all that. So she never even talks about it. But even when those documents leaked, people were calling her a liar, a clout chaser, and all of that. They said the man punched her in the stomach, kicked her down the stairs, would drag her by her hair, and she weighs like 110 pounds, y'all. Right? You've had multiple women who have tried to come out and say that Chris Brown did stuff to them at these parties he would have at his house. And yes, are you going to have some women sprinkled in there who are lying or making things up or want to get a bag? Yes, there are a lot of scandalous women out there. So I say if you have 30 people come out and speak out against a celebrity, you're going to have a percentage of those people who are lying, right? But I'm going to say most are probably not. You had a girl come out a couple weeks ago who said that when she was 18, Sage the Gemini and Chris Brown invited them to a party off of Snapchat. Now, y'all got money. Why are y'all meeting girls off of Snapchat and inviting them to your home? Let's start there. You don't even know these girls from an apple. You got too much to lose. So that lets me know you already wanted a power dynamic. You already wanted broke chicks who were going to be impressed in your presence at the very least. And she said Sage the Gemini raped her. The girl's friend was 16 and Chris Brown raped her. And she, so then she said after they did that, Chris Brown would not send them home on an Uber unless they signed an NDA saying that it was consensual. So basically, they got coerced into signing an NDA. But there have been multiple women who have come out. So when people try to paint this victim narrative of Chris Brown, like, oh, people just won't let him make it. That man has gotten so many passes just off of the strength that he light-skinned, can dance, and is famous. That's it. That's all. So even when I saw him do that video and he was talking about him seeing his dad abuse his mother, and then when he talked about the incident with Rihanna, y'all should have seen how he described it. You can go back and watch it. He was like, yeah, she hit me and then I just hit her back. And the way he described it, it was as if he just reacted and hit her one time. When we saw Rihanna, he laid hands and feet on her. He body rocked that girl like she was a man. He didn't just hit her one time, but he tried to downplay the severity of what he did to her in that car. And Rihanna, she didn't come up and speak out about it. She's tried to leave that in the past. All right, let's continue with this Kevin Hart video. Yeah, but I'm so
Kevin says about Diddy's boys. I think it's weird that
And let me say this. Y'all know Chris Brown got discovered when he was 12. He put his first album out when he was 16, and he was around all those industry dudes that entire time. So if y'all think that he didn't get touched, then I don't know what to tell you. Okay? He was around all of them just like Justin Bieber was around all of them. So y'all best believe they did something to Chris when he was young. And I think that might play a role in how he already saw that growing up at home. Then he's brought around all these adult men who wanted to exploit him. So y'all better believe that plays a factor into why he behaves that way with women. And Chris Brown is also very aggressive with like other men. He's so quick, he's so quick to want to fight. He's so quick to get into it, try to prove that he's hard and that he's some street dude. And Chris Brown can fight now. But I think a lot of that is coming from him feeling like he needs to defend himself because he probably couldn't do it when he was younger.
Diddy had his kids here. These are to me, they look young, but listen.
Now you got to take your hat off. It's a little bit disrespectful to be in my house with your hat on, okay? All y'all niggas ain't.
And let me say this. These are just my thoughts and opinion on Chris Brown. I got to say that.
These holla ass scuddies on. Hey, yo, for real. These hot ass beanie caps. Get the beanie caps off.
Hold on, where my son at?
The light-skinned dude with the good hair. That's just one of them. Shout out to Lil Diddy 1 and 2.
Now, when he telling people to take their beanie caps on, I wonder if Neo was at that party. I wonder if Neo was at that party with a beanie on and they was trying to be shady. Let me stop.
Yeah. Shouts out to Diddy's sons who look nothing like him. It's still in question. We don't really know what's going on. Oh, come on, man. Come on, dude. Don't nobody want to see that shit. Come on, man. That's what I like. See, because as sons, people understand, man. You guys may have a different life, but at the same time,
give it up for my sons. They know how to articulate themselves. Thank you very much.
We got a lot of stars in the building right now. First and foremost, myself. Let's acknowledge that real quick before we get to questions. Shout out to my nigga Fab. Still using the eraser on his Timbs. Hey, Puff, look, real quick.
Right there, right behind Diddy, That's Kalina on the left of Diddy and Dawn on the right. Dawn has a blonde streak in her bang. This is the party that the freak off happened and she had to run and barricade herself in the room.
I want to ask some people. Hey, yo, for real, if you hit me that hard again. Listen, dude, listen. Okay, first of all, get your body together. Work out. Hey, listen. Wow.
Trey Songz,
Wow.
who's here somewhere.
I'm right here, Puff.
He's here? Where's he? Yeah.
Okay, now y'all know what they say about Trey Songz too. He's gonna get his due too. Because there have been several women, including Keke Palmer, who have come out talking about Trey Songz. So you got a whole bunch of dudes who are known for being nasty at this party.
Yeah. Come on in. It's Trey Songz, yo. Make some noise for Trey Songz in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Straight from the garden, ripping it down.
Yeah, it's hot.
Paris.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got hoes. This shit says Diddy on it.
Hey,
Trey Songz, we all know he
shout
is
out to
a
Nigga Trey
mess.
in the building, whatever.
Okay, so y'all gotta catch the symbolism here. You got a microphone that people have to hold to their mouth. These grown men holding to their mouth, and the microphone says Diddy on it. Okay, let's continue.
You know, her just came from the garden. Great. Yeah, it's good. Sold out show. Whatever.
Yeah, it was cool.
The fact
That man is
we've come
diabolical.
here right now. Millions of us lightworkers have incarnated on this planet.
That's great.
But we here to talk about last train to Paris.
Trey. Let's talk about last Paris real quick, Trey. It's Mike better. Give me this. All right.
I think. Okay, yeah. Take this one.
Oh, check. Okay, there it is. All right, Trey, you got a track on the album.
Yes,
I
Your
heard the
Love.
track. You know, I can honestly say I'm a fan of the track. It was a very positive track. You did your thing on it. How?
My shit was positive. It was positive. I mean, he's at a loss for words tonight. Why don't you tell me? Why don't you tell me a stand-up positive track?
No, very educational. Very.
Again, this is Trey Songz. This is Diddy. There's Kalina. There's Dirty Money. Everybody is laughing and joking, but we all know that pandemonium went down later. We all know that pandemonium. Yeah, it's early 2000s when the last train for Paris actually came out, right? Again, it's not the wild parties. Again, this was live stream. What went on afterwards is what Dawn actually described in
I see y'all over there. DJ Clue, we want to thank you for being one of our first.
We got DJ Clue right there. This is the party.
We're gonna
Now,
turn it up. This is my joint.
I'm sure y'all saw this. This is part of the party that they had, that they invited revelers to, right? They had beautiful young women in tubs.
Y'all see this, man? You got women in the bathtub at a party that they're live streaming. Y'all, this is what they're doing on camera. I can only imagine what was going
Getting
on.
washed up.
Behind closed doors.
Check out what's going on. It's official. We're here. Dirty Money album release party. Last train to Paris. It's crazy.
You play too much.
I decided to switch scenes. Got too hectic down there. I'm up here in the hot tub, doing it official. You know what I'm saying? My Trey's up here. The Fab's up here. You know, when you have a scene like this, you got to bring bosses with you. That's
Hold on. Mel said Kevin was on that pink Tucci powder. They're so gross, all of them. Was Tucci even around back then? I thought that was something new. Was Tucci around back then? Hold on, let me get back to the chat while this is playing.
It's female friendly. We got a ladies and female. She's butt ball. That's what I call it. Raw dog.
No, they look like they don't have any clothes on.
Myself, you know, once everybody gets out, you know, just me and the lady. This is my scene. I'm used to this type of thing. You know, doing what I do best. Oh! Did the camera catch that? Got the camera. Got the camera.
Yo, Kevin's eyes look glassier than a mofo. That's all I'm saying. Look at this.
Okay. I remember this clip. Back then, I thought nothing of it, shaking my head. Yeah, like, I don't know why we were so desensitized to this stuff. I feel like the culture just makes us feel like, okay, that's normal. But now that people are coming out and speaking out about what was going on behind closed doors, you look at that and be like, you're doing too much. And then you kind of see the little inside jokes It's really crazy. I'm not going to play that whole thing. We get the gist of it. Kevin Hart was a nasty dude. We've seen some videos outside of just this live stream where we know he nasty. Okay. And it is what it is. Now, I'm going to pull up this video that Dave Chappelle did to reveal why Kevin Hart has the favor he does in Hollywood. Hold on. Now, y'all know Dave Chappelle, for a long time, he was out of the industry because he didn't want to play ball. Okay, let me see what you're talking about, Skinny. I remember this clip. Back then, I thought nothing of it, shaking my head. Kevin Hart in an old interview talked about how he never sacrificed his integrity and wear a dress. Then he ended up wearing one on SNL. Oh, they said, baby, you're going to eat them words. You're going to eat them words. And I think what they don't understand that happens is they will let you get so far and you get accustomed to a certain lifestyle. Then that's when they spring a lot of this stuff on you and be like, well, if you don't, we'll give you all the riches and everything you want in the world if you do X, Y, Z. But if you don't, you're going to lose it all. And that's when you have to decide. Once you've gotten used to the lifestyle. And I think for a lot of these men, they might not like it to begin with, but after a while, it's like they get turned out. They start enjoying that nasty stuff. It's either they already liked it, they were already susceptible to it, or they got exposed to it and then they start enjoying everything that they're feeling and they just completely lose themselves in that.
Black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them.
This is from the channel Culture Covered here on YouTube.
They're like, wow, all these brothers gotta wear a dress.
Wow. I don't think anyone saw this one coming.
Dave Chappelle is finally speaking out on rumors that Kevin Hart sold his soul for fame. And Dave reportedly believes that Kevin would have never made it big if he didn't agree to do some of the things he previously swore he would never do.
Dave Chappelle, another great comedian, said that, in the industry, they tried to make him wear a dress. Have you ever ran into that with scripts? And is there something that, you wouldn't do, for
I definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you have to have.
He hadn't ran into it yet. And that's what they were trying to explain. This is something that is brought to you once you already have established yourself, once you've already hit a certain level. You know what I'm saying? So even like with Chappelle, it's like he reached a certain height, had the Chappelle show. Now that devil is coming to collect.
You have to have boundaries.
Dave Chappelle and Kevin Hart are both extremely successful comedians. However, unlike Kevin, Dave has been very outspoken about the dark side of Hollywood and all the ways he was screwed over by the industry higher ups who wanted to control him.
Because my name and likeness is being used by them in perpetuity throughout the universe. It's in the contract.
Now, as for Kevin, he's definitely one of the most hardworking comedians out there. However, we all know that hard work alone is not enough to make it big in Hollywood. So what's the secret to Kevin's worldwide success? Well, it might have something to do with what Dave Chappelle claims about comedians who willingly agree to humiliate themselves in exchange for money and exposure. To give you some context, there's a long-standing conspiracy theory that black male entertainers are asked to wear a dress on screen before they can make it big in Hollywood. What's also
even if you look at TikTok and Instagram, and you look at all the comedians who are coming up and gaining some level of success, a lot of times they start off doing skits pretending to be women. It's like some type of and before then they're not even like approached by anybody higher up. They're just trying to get their name on the map. But they feel like this is the model for success, right? This is how I become successful. Now, a lot of those men that I've seen, they tend to already have tendencies. You get what I'm trying to say? that they seem to enjoy wearing them dresses a little too much.
Disturbing is that Black comedians often end up playing these exaggerated and offensive versions of Black women that reinforce negative stereotypes.
What do you want, Shanae?
Oh my goodness. If it isn't Little Miss Attitude.
Americans who are traveling or living abroad have the right to vote.
Okay,
from anywhere.
I'm going to stop
Whether by
that because I've ran way over. Skinny Boy, if you can send that video. Oh, he did. Okay, if you can send that video that you're talking to me about on Instagram, I will look at it later on and we could possibly get into it tomorrow. With that said, thank y'all to everybody who showed up during my lunch hour. Make sure that you hit that like button on the way out if you already haven't, and the subscribe button. I will see y'all tomorrow again at 12:05. And again, remember, I'm a self-love coach who specializes in helping people radically transform their lives. I did it myself at the beginning of the year. I decided I wanted to move to another country, and now I'm over here living the Medellin dream. So if you are interested in that type of change and that type of coaching and an accountability partner, send me an email at thepassportsis@gmail.com. I would be happy to assist you in that. Thank you so much. All right, guys, y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. See y'all tomorrow at the lunch hour.